long as I can remember, I have been a musician, as you can see from this photo up here. I was just 4 years old in that photo. And back then, as many of the general public thought, I was like thinking, ooh, my ultimate dream, get a record deal. And then I could be a big rock star like the Beatles, like Elvis. And that's what we mostly thought for the longest time. But the thing that people don't realize is all the fine print within the record contracts. A perfect example of this phenomenon comes back in the days in the 90s of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. These were huge back in those days. And I know I'm much older than most of you watching this video. However, if you go ask your parents about this, I'm sure they'll remember. But basically what happened is that you would see these boys, they're touring everywhere, millions and millions of dollars of record sales, millions and millions of dollars in tour revenue. However, when it came down to it and they had a dinner with Mr. Lou Pearlman, their manager, they were handed a check for 3 years worth of work. 3 years worth of work, rehearsing, the grueling recordings, the grueling tours. This is not easy work, my friends. This is a lot of work, only to find that they got a check for $10,000. Now you're thinking like, what? How is that possible? Well, that is because the fine print in the contract, every dinner that they were buying, every little thing that they thought were being given to them as gifts were being subtracted. They much rather would have, eaten at McDonald's in some fancy restaurant, but they had no idea. And these are the things in the fine print. This is one very broad example that isn't really going into music in particular, but I will go more into detail on a recording contract itself, and you will be blown away. Okay, to understand how musicians get ripped off by recording contracts, you really have to understand how they work. Okay, so let's say, yay, somebody got their recording contract, and it's like they get fronted $500,000, and that sounds pretty awesome, right? You're just like this pure musician that's been playing in bars and stuff, and you just got this recording contract, and $500,000, like the musician's gonna be like, woohoo! All right, but from there, your album is so awesome, it's so epic that you sell 1 million copies at $10 a copy. 10 million copies, okay? That adds up to $10 million. And so you're just like, whoa. But I wish it could be good news for the musician, but it really isn't. Because that record contract says that the record company gets a commission of 85%. So 85%, that leaves you with $1,500,000, which, wow, that's not bad either, Then you got to remember, they originally gave you $500,000 to record this bugger. So then, there goes that. $500,000 gone. That leaves you with $1 million. Well, that's still not a slouch. $1 million is good. But then you got to remember that it costs to record, and recording is expensive. There goes another $400,000 off the top for recording. So now you have $600,000. And then we don't want to forget all the promotion costs, all those cute little posters and cards they got to put all over the record stores. I used to work at Tower Records. I know all about that stuff. So yeah, that comes to about $100,000. Then, you know what it says, video killed the radio stars. So yeah, you got to have that video. You want to make sure that video is nice. So yeah, there goes another $400,000. So then now we're left with $100,000. It's starting to look pretty bad for the musician. And don't forget, the tour support, $250,000. Okay, so now we're in the negative $250,000. This is not looking too good at all. So then basically the artist is left in debt until they can they're in their contract, they're usually contracted for more than one album. So then that kind of gets folded over to the next album. And it's just kind of a vicious cycle that keeps going. And one quick mention, I want to mention Dorian Group. Let me make sure I got this right. Excuse me 1 second. Dorian Group 82 YouTube channel does the same breakdown. I changed numbers just slightly for copyright reasons, but if you want to check that out, I will put the link in the description. So now we're going to talk about some antiquated cost. This happens to be an album that I was in. Show you. All right, so this is a Saxation album. Okay, this was independently done, but my point is you had the cost of the cases, you have artwork cost, and you have cost of the actual physical CD. Now, we have the days of digital download. This isn't a thing anymore, but they still charge you for it, which is just totally unbelievable to me. And this cost can be up to 25%. And again, including digital downloads. Now to antiquated cost number 2. Okay, so most of you aren't going to remember these bad boys, but yeah, we used to have this thing called vinyl records, which this is an old Motley Crue record, and kind of can tell that is a pretty delicate piece there. So, you know, if this drops or gets damaged during shipping, which could happen, that's a 10% fee they put on top of the contract that the artist has already signed, you know, that the artist is signing, which is completely antiquated and completely unfair, because you're downloading the music. Is it going to break? No. So it makes no sense at all. And finally, for the charges I'm going to go through in this video, we have the free goods charge. Now, I remember back in the 90s, I used to work at Tower Records in Boston, and we would get the shipments of 100 CDs. And for every 100 CDs, we would have 10 complimentary CDs. The thing is that these 10 complimentary CDs, the company, Tower Records, did not pay for them. They were free. However, the artist is being charged for them, and the artist is not making any money from them. They're actually being charged for them. So that's completely unfair. It's like having, like, you're working and you're paying to work. That makes no sense. So again, that's just another horrible thing within these contracts. So what is a musician to do? What are we about to do with these recording contracts? Well, the biggest thing is to educate yourself. That is so important, because knowledge is power, and there's so much of it available for free now on the internet. It's incredible. The Dorian Group 82 YouTube channel that I will put in my description below, that is probably one of the best sources. That guy is so smart, and he's helping so many musicians out. And he also tells you stories of things that could go wrong, including he has the story of how Suge Knight of Death Row Records basically was robbing Snoop Dogg for the longest time. And so things like that, where you can learn from people's mistakes and learn all kinds of stuff. There's also books. There's tons of books online. I'll put a couple of links down so that you can see those as well. And there are other steps that can be taken as well to protect the artist. Another step that can be taken is to hire an entertainment lawyer to look over your contract for you. They are educated in these things and all the legal jargon. The thing is, find one that you can trust. Okay, so a couple other options you have as an artist is also you could sign with an independent label, an indie label. The nice thing about indie labels is that they are a lot more understanding. They usually split profit 50-50. So you don't have all the mumbo jumbo that comes with these really corporate greedy recording companies. And then finally, you can release it yourself. That's another option you have. Now, the only problem with this is that, you're not going to get the money up front. That can be a problem. For instance, when I was in Saxations, this was self-released by my beautiful friend Leilani, who runs this band. And also, I'm in another band, Amalgamated. We're getting ready to record in October, and August. And we're going to be self-releasing as well. So that's another way that musicians can protect themselves. Now, you just got to remember, these days we have so much information out there, and it's just so much help. So as a community of musicians, we have to help each other out. That is key. That is key, because that is what's beautiful about something like I said. I'm going to keep going back to Dorian Group 82, because I was just blown away with some of the information he had given out. And, you get the music, you get the information, you share it, you use it. So I'm going to leave you with a quote by the late Tupac Shakur. We can never go nowhere alone unless we share with each other. And I think that's very important for musicians to understand. A lot of times they don't, and a lot of times they want to fight with each other. But the truth is that we're all in this together.